Hi, everyone. It's Andrea coming back with some more revealings from the Lord. Okay, you guys, this one is, will you stand naked in front of the Lord at the rapture or on the final judgment day? As we know, we are in the season. We're at the end of the last 7 years. Much revealing is now starting to be poured out. I believe this is for the glory of the Lord. The Lord has told me that a lot of this Hollywood and things that are starting to fall and crumble is kind of the fall of Babylon. And then we see Israel surrounded by Allah. If you haven't seen my one video regarding the caliphate and the Bismillah, I would highly recommend you go watch the fall of Satan. So as he's starting to reveal all of this, this is for the higher levels of the born-again Christian to understand the spiritual nature of this world. Remember, we don't battle against flesh and blood. It's the spirit within and the principalities that run this world. So let's get into this one. Again, these are the words of the Lord, and then I'll go over again regarding the Prayer Warrior International Prayer Group. You should have just seen that video last evening regarding this group. So hopefully you're coming in to join it and to practice your own imprecation prayers. So let's get started on this one. So this one is called The Kingdom to Come, and I started to hear that at around 9:19 p.m. last night. And then the Lord started to speak, more revelations outpouring for the end of time. Pray on everything, test all spirits. Remember, Satan cannot be against himself. Okay, Mark 3:26. And if Satan has risen up against himself and is divided, he cannot stand, but it is coming to an end. So we're at that time. Matthew 12:26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then will his kingdom stand? So what we're seeing now in the Hollywood realm is they're going to start to fight against each other. And I'm going to get more into that. I have another revealing of the Lord said that I could start to reveal all of this. Now is the time. So you're going to start seeing some videos come out. You guys, I'm just listening to the Lord. Again, I have no judgment in it. I'm just giving it to you and then take it all back to the Lord. But this should resonate with your spirit as we're coming to the end, and all of this has been revealed over the last number of years. So he started to tell me, and again, anything that is bolded or highlighted here is the Lord. The light sheds upon my own. These that continue to usurp me will never see the light in me. For today is yet a vapor of time, one filled with destiny and hope, driven by my mighty winds. I am the sanctuary of their salvation. None gets past me without proper clothing. The covering in me is my salvation. Running this race required fiery trials and ambiguous rituals of faith and endurance. The rituals are the prayers sent to me for the lost and by my people of the covering in me. You guys, there are good rituals and bad rituals, okay? These are the things that were all in the Old Testament. So let's explain this a little bit further. A sacred ritual revealed by God is a ceremonial procedure that is a physical demonstration of an eternal truth. Put another way, it is the expression of truth. Remember, he is the way, the truth, and the life through prescribed symbolic action. Unclear to those not of the truth of the Lord, fighting it without the full endurance in faith. The rituals of old still stand. Remember, they had, altar offerings. They had rituals of the high priest. Okay, he is now our high priest in the order of Melchizedek, but they still stand. Not that we do physical rituals. We do spiritual rituals upon to him, which are our prayers and faith. Prayer and submission to my word is how he describes that. The lofty and proud are but vain shows and blind guides, leading flocks of sheep to the pit with them blindly, like the Pharisees did in my day. Blinded to even me, standing in front of them, trying to convince them of my holiness. Of holiness in me, and yet they usurped me over and over for better gods of their liking and choosing to bow the knee to Baal over and over again. I am a simple man now glorified as the one true Messiah. Bending the knee to me was heresy to them. Won't they be surprised to see me upon my return soon to come? Can you imagine their faces frozen in time, knowing they stand naked in the sight of me? That's showing their sins. It will be revealed. Everything will be revealed to them individually, is my guess. I mean, it sounds like anybody that, like Adam and Eve, knew they were naked in front of the Lord. They just knew it. So this is a spiritual all-knowing. Every knee will bow at my presence, as it should be, as I created each one of you in my image to worship me in faith and knowledge that I do exist and always have. So to stand naked before God is to stand before God as Adam and Eve stood before the fall, before they realized they were naked and hid themselves from him out of shame. Many put me, now this I did not get, okay? I had to go look at this up because I was like, I have never seen this or never heard of it, but what an awesome revealing. Many put me into a boiling pot of fables and folklore, telling stories by the campfire of their forefathers' affairs, and kindly tossing a coin into the fire and make wishes upon themselves, casting spells of magic for dumb fables that are just stories of old. Okay, so if you think about, like, back then, all they could do to stay alive was to have a campfire, right? I mean, you had to have fire to boil pots and to, sit around the campfire is probably what they did and told stories. I mean, I would guess that was really a big part of their lives. So I had to look it up. So what is the folklore of simmer pots? Who even knew there was such a thing? It originated in pagan cultures to celebrate the changing of the seasons and cleanse the home of bad energy. This is witchcraft the pagans used as a votive offerings, with the acts of throwing coins at or in specific objects, fire, water, ponds, fountains, wells, etc. Did you all know that? I did not. So, this proves that the Lord, when he speaks, we have to go look this stuff up, because I wouldn't even know there was such a thing. That's why we have to test all spirits, you guys, because he is saying that those that were in witchcraft, okay, casting spells upon themselves, magic, and telling the stories of old, sitting around a campfire, it makes sense when you really think about it. All right. So the New Testament also uses the word fable to refer to the Jews' speculations and traditions on religious matters. Okay. So these are the fables of old that the Lord was just speaking about. In these passages, the word means something that is unreal and false. The New Testament also alludes to fables of false teachers who claim to be part of the Christian church. And this is his whole message. So this is amazing. No other doctrine, 1 Timothy 1. This is verse 3. As I urged you when I went into Macedonia, remain in Ephesus, that you may charge some that they teach no other doctrine, nor give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which cause disputes rather than godly edification, which is in faith. Now the purpose of the commandment is to love from a pure heart, from a good conscience, and from sincere faith, from which some, having strayed, have turned aside to idle talk, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor the things which they affirm. So these are the old fables they used to sit around, apparently tossing a coin into the fire, making wishes, talking about the old stories of old, which would be that Jewish folklore, which God wasn't part of, the God of the Bible. They wanted the God of Moses, right? The false God that they still worship. I mean, this is amazing. Okay, so then he goes on to say, rest assured, the end is near, and everyone will give an accounting on these fables, not once thinking I was real, not even to say that I created them. So what does it say in Matthew 12? Good and bad fruit. The good man brings good things out of his good store of treasure, and the evil man brings evil things out of his evil store of treasure. But I tell you that men will give an account on the day of judgment for every careless word they have spoken. For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned. So again, if he's speaking not only of the old Pharisees, we have a pharisaical worm, so to speak, of false religion and false doctrines of men today. So heed the warnings. Then he goes on to say, it's easier to live a life of sin than to turn to me with their sins for fear of retribution. But in fact, it's the opposite that will happen, paid in full by their own iniquity, a day of complete and utter disgrace, one that will expose their darkness in one instant to fall into hell forever. I mean, that's going to be those standing naked in front of the Lord. He said, you made a mockery of me one last time. You, the fallen vessels of iniquity, vengeance is mine. So mocked Jesus by making a crown out of thorny branches. These were the people that killed him on the cross, placing it on his head, putting a stick into his right hand and spitting on him. Romans 12:19, the verse reads, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. And so who are they doing that now to? Not only do they usurp the Godhead, those in false doctrine and false teachings, but they usurp us as the spoken vessels of mercy from the Lord to teach you these truths. He then says, my light is almost out and done shining in this lost and broken world. So then I know he stopped because it just usually when he stops, it's either he says something in closing and sometimes he doesn't, but I usually I know he's going to start saying something else because he didn't finish it. Right. So I laid in my bed for a little bit as I was falling asleep. And then I heard and prayed first that what should I do, Lord? You told me to put together this prayer group and I want to do what you want us to do here in these last moments. But again, I want to know exactly what we need to do. So he gave me direction. I wasn't expecting it, but of course, the Lord is awesome. So here's what he said. So I put this in this last video you saw about the prayer warrior group. And so I put it in bullet points over there, but I'll just read it again. So pray for the lost that they may be found. They must search their own hearts first. They won't find me outside in churches. Well, that's true. I am here in the heart of man where I placed myself after my resurrection. I was like, whoa. He's been saying this over the last few videos that, if they only would have found me in their heart. It's a heart of purity. It's a pure heart wanting to know the truth, the way and his life and coming to him with all submission. So he's now reiterating that. The ease of my yoke is simple. Seek and you shall find. Pray imprecations against the enemy and the strongholds they have not broken. Find prayers seeking their way out of false doctrines of men. This is important. Once saved, always saved. You've got the Catholic Church. You've got all of the evangelical religions. You've got Buddha. You've got, any and anything that you can think of, to include the Jewish nation and Islam. Okay, so find prayer seeking their way out of false doctrines of men, as this is the biggest stronghold. And I was like, wow, it is. As they seek to please men and not me. Where there is a will, there is a way. It's through me, the life-giving water. They will never seek me in churches as they rely on false teachings as a marriage of truth when it carries no weight in my word. Fight with the sword of truth. Use my word to formulate the prayers and practice this as your daily walk is an important part of your walk with me. Pray for nations to be broken of strongholds, as right now Allah is in charge in the northern countries known as Ramah and Persia. And I did not know what he meant by Ramah, okay, and Persia, because I didn't realize today modern day Persia is Iran. Well, look what's happening, you guys. Okay. And back then it was in that same territory and I'm not sure what they called it, but anyway, so let's look at Ramah because I didn't understand Ramah at all. The Hebrew word Ramah means height or exalted and is often used to describe military strongholds, which I was like, well, who's coming against the Holy Land right now? Iran, the Caliphate, Bismillah, Hamas, all of the wicked serpents, where he just told me that's where he lays his eggs. This is quite the revealing, you guys. So the New Testament only mentions Ramah in a quotation of prophecy of Jeremiah. You might want to go look that up. Persia is today the country of Iran. There are strongholds mentioned. Whoa. I was like, wow. So this is the military strongholds where they have a strong sense of killing. Okay, this is a murderous mind. And this is Allah coming against the Holy Land. And now they're surrounding Israel. So this is why he was speaking this. So the red dragon is Allah. He's explained this to me and I have more revealing coming. Okay. So the red dragon is here. He is using men of war to fight against me, and they are all turning against one another as I am breaking down strongholds in the heavenly realm, as this is the battle of Armageddon foretold. So see video on the fall of Satan. I just posted more revealing. You might want to go watch that Satan video. Just look up the Satan. You'll see the tiles. Okay, sleeper cells have awakened in the evil wicked ones and battle my children as well, which are his children. This is what he was saying to me here at the end of this message. Fight against the wickedness with the arrows they secretly shoot at you. Where there is a will, there is a way for my children to escape the tactics of the enemy. It's my word. Remember, this is a double-edged sword. This is the word, which is your escape. So use it in this last battle. I am coming soon. Stay battle ready. No time like the present to stay armored up. And then he said, onward, soldiers of light, Abba Father. You guys, this is incredible. When you have a personal relationship with the Lord, you 100% know and believe that he will tell you the truth. Now, it may not be always on your timing, but I believe we're so short on time. The Lord is truly pouring this out for those that are not truly seeking him. He's giving us all of this, as warnings, but also he's pouring out his heart. He created us in his image. So we are him. We are truly him. When we walk in the light, we have him inside of us in our heart. And that's where he left himself. If only people would just dig deep enough and read the word and stay in it. This was our ticket to heaven, the Bible, right? And faith, and allowing him to teach us himself and hearing him. So God bless everybody. And I'll see you. Stay tuned for more revealing. God bless.